I thought it was just a creepy old doll, something to laugh about, scare my friends with. But ever since I brought it home, things haven't been normal. I hear whispers, doors open on their own, and now, I don't think I'm alone anymore. If you love real horror stories and things that should never be messed with, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me till the end, because you won't believe how far this curse went. At first it was nothing, just small things. I left the doll on my desk the night I brought it home, propped it up against my monitor thinking it'd be funny to catch my friend's reaction when he came over. But the next morning, it wasn't there. It was on the kitchen table, sitting upright, facing the front door like it was waiting for someone. I figured I must have moved it and forgot. I'd had a long night, scrolling TikTok until 3 a.m., so maybe I was half asleep when I did it. The second time, it was in the bathroom. I hadn't touched it. I swear I hadn't. I live alone unless you count my roommate, but he was out of town that weekend visiting family. The doll was just there, sitting on the closed toilet lid, like it had been placed deliberately. Still, I laughed. I even took a picture and sent it to my group chat, like, okay, who broke in just to prank me with Annabelle's ugly cousin? People thought it was hilarious. I did too. For a bit, but then it kept happening. I'd put it on the bookshelf. Hours later, I'd find it on the couch. I once left it in a drawer, shut tight, and later that night it was on my nightstand facing my bed. Always facing me. That part really started to bother me. But even then, I brushed it off. Maybe I was being careless. Maybe I was sleepwalking. I told myself anything to keep it light. I even joked that the doll had personality. I didn't feel scared, not yet. Just unsettled. Like a prank that went on too long, or a joke you start to second guess halfway through telling. Something was off. I just wasn't ready to admit it. It didn't take long before things went from weird to wrong. The kind of wrong that makes your skin crawl before your brain catches up. I started hearing sounds, scratching behind the walls, soft taps like fingertips dragging along wood, always at night, always when everything else was silent. Once I was in the shower and I heard the bathroom door creak open. I froze, heart pounding, thought maybe it was the wind or the hinges settling, but then I saw it, just the silhouette through the glass, the doll propped against the counter, watching. I hadn't left it there. I hadn't even touched it that day. The air started to feel heavy too. That's the part I can't explain. Like walking into a room right after a fight, something thick and tense just clinging to the walls. My lights would flicker randomly. My TV would turn on in the middle of the night, static blaring. My phone kept glitching when I tried to record any of it, like the battery would suddenly drain or the screen would freeze. Then came the eyes. I swear they started to look different, less like painted glass and more like they were watching. I know how crazy that sounds, believe me. But when you're home alone and the room is dim and those eyes catch just a bit of light, you'd swear they blinked. A friend came over once and got this look on their face as soon as they walked in. Didn't even sit down. Just pointed at the doll and said, "You should get rid of that." No joke, no laughter. Dead serious. That was the first time I felt something real settle in my gut. A shift. Like maybe this wasn't funny anymore. Maybe it never was. The dream started not long after that. At first they were just strange. Disjointed flashes of places I didn't recognize. Long hallways, old wallpaper peeling off cracked walls, flickering lights. Always dim, always cold. But the doll was there. Always. Just standing at the far end, motionless, watching. Then they got worse. More vivid. More real. One night I dreamt I woke up in my own bed, in my room. Everything looked normal, but I couldn't move. Sleep paralysis, I told myself. But in the dream, I could see the doll slowly crawling up the side of the bed. Its tiny fingers gripped the blanket. It climbed inch by inch until it was sitting on my chest, staring into my face. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. I woke up gasping for air, drenched in sweat. That morning, I noticed 3 small scratches across my shoulder. Light, but fresh. I tried to blame it on my cat until I remembered. I don't have one. I stared at those scratches for a long time. Something about them looked too clean, too intentional. like they were made with precision, not claws. I started sleeping with the lights on, left the doll in a locked drawer. Still, I'd wake up and find it sitting on the floor at the foot of my bed, always looking up at me, always in the exact same pose, like it was waiting for something. That sense of being watched, it never went away. I felt it in the shower, at the sink, even while brushing my teeth. That tingling at the back of your neck, like someone's just over your shoulder. I checked. I always checked, but it was never behind me. It was always already in the room. I finally hit my breaking point the night I found the doll sitting inside my closet, with the door shut. I hadn't opened that closet all day, but there it was, placed neatly among my shoes, like it had been waiting for me to find it. That night I didn't sleep. I just stared at it from across the room, too scared to look away, too scared to blink. The next morning I decided to get rid of it. I took the doll to the dumpster down the street, wrapped it in a plastic bag, tossed it in, and didn't look back. I felt ridiculous, honestly, like I was overreacting. But for the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe, until the next morning. I woke up, walked into the kitchen, and nearly collapsed. It was sitting on the counter. No plastic bag, no dirt, just there, like it had never left. I screamed, not even embarrassed to admit it. I lost it. I tore the thing apart, ripped off its head, its arms, everything, threw the pieces in the fireplace, and watched it burn. That smell, it wasn't just smoke. It was thick, foul, like melting hair and something rotting. I had to leave the windows open for hours just to get it out. I told myself it was over. Had to be. But that night, I woke up to the sound of something shifting at the foot of my bed. I turned on the light. There it was, whole, untouched. Sitting on the dresser, its head tilted just slightly, like it was amused, like it knew something I didn't. That's when I stopped laughing, stopped pretending this was something I could explain. That was the night I started believing in curses. I didn't tell anyone for a while. Honestly, I was scared of how it'd sound. Hey, I think a doll is haunting me. That's not exactly a sentence that earns you serious attention. But I was tired. I hadn't slept properly in weeks. My body was on edge constantly. I felt like I was unraveling. So I finally caved and posted about it anonymously online. Just a short thread with the basics. Strange movements, vivid dreams, the doll that wouldn't stay gone. I wasn't expecting much, but within hours my inbox was full. Most of it was jokes, memes, people asking if I was okay. But a few messages stood out, people describing almost the exact same experiences. Some with dolls, some with mirrors, one with a music box. One message chilled me. It was simple. It's a vessel. You didn't just bring home a doll. You brought home something that used it. I ended up messaging that person back. They put me in touch with someone local, an older woman who studied occult history and supposedly dealt with hauntings. I didn't know what else to do, so I reached out. She came over 2 days later, didn't want to touch the doll, didn't even want to come inside at first. She said the energy was dense. That's the word she used, dense. She stood in my living room with her eyes closed, breathing slow, and then told me something that made my stomach drop. She said whatever was attached to the doll wasn't just lingering, it was feeding on attention, on fear, on me. And that if I wanted a chance at breaking it, I'd need to perform a ritual, not to destroy it, but to seal it. The instructions she gave me weren't complicated, at least not on paper. I needed salt, real sea salt, black candles, a mirror, unbroken, and silence. Absolute silence. No phones, no distractions. Midnight, she said. Not before, not after. Midnight exactly. She gave me a small bag filled with herbs and a handwritten chant in a language I couldn't pronounce. Said to read it 3 times, standing inside a circle of salt, with the doll in the center and the mirror facing it. I waited until the end of the week. I don't know why. Maybe I was hoping it would all just stop. Maybe I was scared of making it worse. But the dreams came back, stronger. And one night I woke up to the mirror in my bedroom completely shattered, though I hadn't even touched it. That was my sign. No more waiting. That night, I did everything exactly the way she said. Salt circle, candles lit, doll in the middle, mirror propped against the wall so it reflected the thing perfectly. I stepped into the circle, holding that piece of paper with shaking hands. I could barely get the words out. The second time I said it, the candles flickered violently. I kept going. By the third time, I felt something shift in the room. The air got cold, not just chilly, freezing. My breath came out in clouds. I started hearing a low hum, like 1,000 whispers pressed together. Then the mirror cracked, just a hairline split, running from top to bottom. The candles went out, all at once. I didn't move for a full minute. Then I grabbed the doll, wrapped it in cloth, and sealed it in a wooden box with the herbs she gave me. Taped it shut, buried it under the old shed out back. After the ritual, things went quiet. No more whispers, no footsteps at night, no sudden flickering lights or cold spots. It was like someone had lifted a heavy, invisible weight off my chest. I finally slept through the night for the first time in what felt like forever. Days passed, then a week. I started to feel normal again, like myself. I stopped glancing over my shoulder, stopped checking every room twice before turning off the lights. For a while, I let myself believe it was over. Then last night, I had a dream. I was back in the same hallway I used to see, the one from before. Only this time it wasn't empty. The doll was there again. But it wasn't standing at the end anymore. It was closer, sitting, right in front of me. Its eyes were darker, glassy, but not lifeless. I felt it watching me, waiting. I woke up sweating, heart pounding, told myself it was just memory residue. That kind of stuff takes time to fade, right? But when I got up and walked into the kitchen, I froze. Sitting on the table was a small clump of dirt, fresh, damp, like something had clawed its way out of the earth and shaken itself off. I haven't found the box. I haven't gone to look. But tonight, as I write this, I keep hearing something in the hallway, just soft movement, like fabric brushing against the wall. And every now and then, this quiet click, like porcelain tapping the floor. I haven't opened the door yet, but I don't think I buried it deep enough. Or maybe it was never meant to stay buried at all. That was my story, but something tells me it's not over. If you've ever had a cursed object or something you couldn't explain, tell me in the comments. And remember, some jokes are better left alone. Like, subscribe, stay safe, and don't take home what doesn't belong to you.